In this lecture, I will explain the difference between the topic and the key sentence. At the same time, we will learn that paragraphs may be pyramid, funnel, or bookcase shaped. Knowing these basic structures will help you to give your paragraph a nice focus. As a preparation for this lecture, you've been working on activity 3.2, introducing the paragraph, and you have also studied the full text in the activity page for this video. So I hope you are ready. Let's start with defining the topic sentence in contrast to the key sentence. The topic sentence is defined by its location. It's the first sentence of the paragraph. It is called the topic sentence because it is expected to introduce the topic, the subject, or the focus of the paragraph. Now, the key sentence is defined by its content. It is the most important sentence. Sometimes it's two sentences that form the key message. But the key sentence communicates the point or the key idea of the paragraph, and it can be anywhere in the paragraph. Okay, so that's a big difference. Now, let's turn to the exercise. Probably you have noticed that some topic sentences have more predicting power than others. The first one, this one, about how science has shown an impressive growth over past decades, I think it was quite a hard nut to crack. This sentence is quite general and, well, as such it may lead to several points. And there's no clue yet about what that point is going to be. The reader hopes, of course, it will follow quickly in the remainder of the paragraph. Now, this sentence is the very first sentence of a paper, so a broad start here really makes sense. And with this context in mind, we might have predicted that the paragraph will go on about problems that may follow from this impressive growth. And yes, that's exactly what happens. The paragraph works towards a problem. Indeed, overinterpretation, overstatement, and misreporting of scientific results have been frequently reported. A key sentence leading to the gap of knowledge, which is the stepping stone for the next paragraph. So the wrap-up sentences in this paragraph contain the main idea. The paragraph is shaped like a funnel. It starts out broad and it narrows down towards the point. The second sentence or paragraph comes from a results section. It describes a finding, and probably the remainder of the paragraph will offer supporting evidence, the actual data from which this finding is derived. Many paragraphs in results sections are shaped like this. Now, this paragraph is a pyramid. It starts out with a key idea, and the rest of the paragraph offers supporting information. The answer to the main question is to find in the beginning of the paragraph, and the sub-question or questions are worked out in the body of the paragraph. Nice structure. Well, the pyramid and the funnel are two basic shapes, but they may be combined, and that's the case in the third paragraph. We might call this a diamond. The paragraph starts out with the overall idea. Our results are consistent with previous work, blah, blah, blah. Now, the text goes on, giving more details and explanation for this statement. But then the wrap-up sentence takes the story a step further. We read, there are thus good reasons to suppose that social networks would be relevant to human happiness. Thus, a conclusion, a next key idea. The conclusion builds upon the information in the paragraph, but the overall idea was given in advance. So, a diamond like this, nice reader-focused structure to be copied by you for your own content. Now, the structure of the fourth and the fifth paragraphs are perhaps the most transparent. I bet you could easily predict the content of both of these paragraphs because the topic sentences simply announce the content. This one, treating patients for a complicated urinary tract infection with an oral antibiotic has several advantages. After that, the reader is further assisted by signals like often and also. Now, the wrap-up sentence rephrases the topic sentence, which gives the key idea extra emphasis. Note that the text in fact does not list advantages, but instead sums up the disadvantages of the infusion. But still, it is clear enough, a transparent structure for the reader. I call this paragraph a bookcase. The information is packed in layers and there's a clear announcing topic sentence. Sometimes bookcases have wrap-ups or concluding sentences like here. Okay, well, the fifth paragraph was also clearly a bookcase. Recent evidence suggests that 2 additional strategies might be necessary to close the gap. 2 additional strategies. So we expect the remainder of the paragraph just to list, to explain, to list the 2 additional strategies. And indeed, the paragraph does so. It carries on with an firstly and secondly. Crystal clear. I hope you also think so. So now, what have we learned from this? The first sentence of a paragraph, the opening sentence, is in fact the door to the paragraph. It should lead the reader into the paragraph. So it should introduce the topic. It should label the subject. And preferably, it should also signal the move or the question that the paragraph answers. Now, you can use useful phrases, are very good for that purpose. The first sentence of the paragraph may also provide the central idea, the point or the key sentence of the paragraph. So in that case, it is a pyramid. When to use pyramids? I would say as often as possible, because the reader likes to be prepared for the content of the paragraph. So many paragraphs in the results section will be pyramids. The first paragraph of your discussion may also well be a pyramid, starting out with the answer to the research question, following up with the supporting evidence. And paragraphs that present arguments or explain, clarify something, start out with the statement and then explain. Or paragraphs that explain limitations or strength are always pyramids, because the first sentence starts out with there are 2 limitations. The first is, and then explanation, next paragraph, the second, for example. Now, when to write funnels? You can use a funnel when you first need to introduce a concept before working it out. So first paragraphs of introductions are always funnels. They start out broad, but also on other places in your text where you need to introduce a new subtopic. For example, in your introduction, you also need to describe a tissue or treatment or a mechanism or whatever. You need to start out with the introduction and then work towards your point or key idea about that treatment, mechanism, or topic. Or when you just need more explanations or details or argument before you can make your point to convince the reader. So both structures are very useful. You can alternate them. I would try to write pyramids as much as possible, but funnels are also often very nice and fine steps in your storyline. Also, it's not mathematics. Many paragraphs are mixed or hybrid shapes. So go out and try and check some articles in your own field or maybe your own writing for the shapes of the paragraph you encounter there. Okay, well, thanks for listening. Post your questions and remarks in the post and remarks section, and perhaps you have some interesting shapes of paragraphs to share with us.